Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Moon Podcast. I'm your host, David Solano, and welcome to episode 45. Today, we have the candidates of the 1876 election, Republican Rutherford Hayes and Democrat Samuel Tilden in the set. How are you, Rutherford?
Yeah, I'm doing just fine.
All right, and how about you, Samuel?
I'm doing great. Victory is practically in my hands.
Yeah, you'd think that, wouldn't you?
All right, well then, let's get started right away. We'll start with the Dark Horse President. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in the great state of Ohio in 1822. I grew up like any other boy and studied hard to get into a good school. I studied at Kenyon College and Harvard Law School.
Sounds like you've had quite the amount of schooling. So let's hear from our other candidate. How did Democrat Samuel Tilden grow up?
Well, I'll tell you. I grew up very sick, so sick in fact that I became unable to attend school. My father had many friends who were politicians, which got me interested in law and politics. With all the free time I had from being sick all the time, I decided to study and read books. One book I took particular interest in was The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith.
And did you also attend any universities?
I attended Yale College for a short period of time, but I dropped out again due to my health.
I see. Well, how did you fine gentlemen get started in your political careers?
Well, like I said, I attended Kenyon College and Harvard Law School and became interested in Whig politics. I graduated top of my class, and I was on my way to becoming a politician when the Civil War started. I, of course, supported the Union and fought hard against those bastard rebels. I was injured, and I rose the ranks to become a general. During the war, the Cincinnati Republicans nominated me for the House of Representatives. I accepted the nomination, but decided not to leave my men to campaign.
From an aspiring politician to a general of the army and maybe even the President of the United States, if you win the election. The votes are being counted right now. Alright then, let's move on to the second candidate, Democrat Samuel Tilden. Tell us, how did your political career begin?
Since I was young, I've been interested in politics. I became a protege of Martin Van Buren, the 8th President of the United States. By 1846, I had become a member of the New York Assembly, and I also helped Van Buren with his third-party anti-slavery candidacy in the Democratic Committee, and during that time managed Horachio's campaign in the 1968 presidential election. I was in the Tammany Hall faction, but left due to rampant corruption by my boss, William King. In 1874, I won the election for the governor of New York, and I helped break up the corruption canal ring. Due to my extensive background in law and politics, I became the leading candidate for the Democratic nomination for president.
Well, alright then. Seems to me like you also have a plethora of experience. With introductions out of the way, let's get into some questions. So, Rutherford, why should the people choose you as their president?
Well, I plan to finally end Reconstruction and pull out federal troops out of the southern states. The war is over and the Union has been restored. I also plan to include Southerners in my cabinet as well as support black civil rights. I plan to help America get better in the easiest and smoothest way possible.
I see. And what about you, Samuel? You seem like a popular candidate. There must be things you believe you can do that will get you elected by the people.
Well, I believe that there are. I don't think Reconstruction should be the top priority for Americans. Should the people choose me, I will lower taxes, reform civil services, and increase hard money policies. Reconstruction will eventually and naturally end.
Alright. Now that we have both sides, let's finally get the results. And it looks like Samuel Tilden wins the presidential election.
Yes, let's do it, baby. Samuel always wins.
There's no way that Samuel won. It's only by one vote. I'm calling Congress right now. Hello? Is this Congress? Yes, this is Rutherford speaking. I would like you to recount the votes, please. Okay, thank you, Congress.
Alright, and the results after the recount are... Hayes is the President of the United States.
Yeah!
And that wraps up today's podcast. I was your host, David Solano, and I will see you next election. Goodbye.